Oh, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Yo, this song's pretty dope. I love it. I gotta make sure I got the right audio on here. How's everybody doing? Here we go. Hold on. I gotta link up to my Mcaster from Mackie. What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, February 7th. I always had trouble with that one. Coming down to you from the DJ's Guru studio here in New York. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. And I think that's everywhere. So thanks so much for tuning in today. We appreciate it. I've got music mode on behind me, so we'll turn that off. Go back to wash mode. All right. Now, today, I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep going through my blogs here. And we're doing some explanation on moving heads. As you see, I got some moving heads behind me. I got a wash. No, over there. I got a wash and I got a spot. I'm like backwards here. So, and then we're going to talk about the beam. I've got some video footage I'll show you, and we'll kind of talk and decipher the differences, and then when, why, and how you should use each of those three. And then there's also the profile. I've ever heard of a profile, which I haven't, I didn't address that. We'll talk about that a little bit, but that's really more for stage lighting. So DJs are not usually going to be in the profile market. Usually you're going to be looking at either a wash, a spot, or a beam. And, they look the same. So what are the differences? And we'll kind of go through everything. So before we do that, let's pay the bills here. We'll go through everything. First, let's say hello to everyone who's watching. What's up, Maximus? How's the VersaBar Flex working out, man? And yes, I remember everybody, what you order, when you ordered it. I remember everything. Adam's looking to get some of these behind me. Hope I'm not blowing up anyone's spot, but that's how I roll. What's up, Jeremy? How are you? Checking in from Central Illinois. Welcome. I love it. I was in Normal, Illinois one time after I met, this was in my 20s, after a Cancun trip, we met a gaggle of ladies that were in this sorority. And we got back. They said, come to Normal, Illinois. I think it was University of Illinois. And we went. We had a good time. Good time in Normal, Illinois. It was not normal. Good. I'm glad you're hearing me. Parties. What's up, man? How are you? What's up, Jeff? He loves moving wash heads. And we're going to kind of go through everything. And I think the moving wash is the one that I think most people are probably curious about, because the spot and the beam, I think we've addressed those enough and people have been using them now for so many years. But the wash, I think, is the one that to watch out for. So make sure you're following us on social media at the DJ's Guru, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, believe it or not. Check us out at djsguru.com. All of our blogs, reviews, tips and tricks, all the good articles and stuff like that go up there. Thank you to our sponsors at djsupplystore.com. Everything that we talk about, all the brands that we have relationships with and that we feel great about, are up there at djsupplystore.com. You can use member code SAVE, S-A-V-E. You're going to get a nice discount off lighting and audio. And most items qualify for that discount, free shipping, and a lot of stuff in stock. We're really building up that inventory as things get better with the supply chain. So check it out at djsupplystore.com. And welcome. Moving head types explained. Jeff Big Time, what's up, man? You just bought your first moving head. What'd you get? Photographers tend to appreciate them. Yeah, we're going to definitely get to that. And he's talking about the moving head wash. So, wow. So much to talk about, but really we'll start very simply. Like, what is a moving head? What are the different types? And I think most people at this point kind of understand. But if you don't, I go back to the 90s with companies like Claypaky and Martin and Golden Scan and these monstrosity lights made of metal. And I mean, when you go back and watch like movies like 54, like these are the lights that they had going back to the late 70s and 80s that really didn't change much until China got involved, really. That really changed the game in LED as we progressed more. But the moving head in general, in my opinion, now in 2023 is probably the most valuable light, and I think it gives you the most bang for the buck. So if I had no lights, right, and I had to start with some sort of an effect light, I personally would invest in 2 moving heads and totems before I would get some sort of all-in-one system. Obviously uplighting as well. Those are my first 2 go-tos. And for me, when I do events, what I'm using mostly at this point, immersive lighting around me and moving head beams, spots, wash, whatever in the middle. So it's just something that, again, it's a light that's on a moving yoke and it's constantly panning and tilting. It strobes. And then depending on whether you have a wash, these are the types, a spot or a beam, the actual light that's coming out of the opening of that moving head is going to be different and give you a different type of effect. So that's basically what it is. And I'm sure everyone out there has used them, has seen them, has some sort of an idea, and, I say China, but, when China manufacturing got involved, things kind of blew up in the moving head market, and what used to be, God, thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, literally, I think you can go on Amazon or eBay right now and get like a 4-pack for like $200. It's like crazy. But then, of course, there's different levels, and I'm talking to professionals out there. Of course, we would never do that, right? So what we're going to talk about today, and we'll start off with the spot. Is really the differences and kind of when and who really, I think, uses the most. So the spot has always been the most popular for a lot of reasons. I think it's the hybrid of all of them. It kind of gives you the ability to do a little bit of everything depending on the levels of features that you have on your moving head spot. A lot of times you can do zoom, where you can make the beam small and narrow like a beam effect, or you can make it wider like a wash. Some of them will go as wide as 45 degrees or more. You have gobos, which are the shapes and colors, and all of these are projected through wheels that basically are turning to give you different combinations. And the next step is, okay, the optics, what's coming out of the light with the spot, always been very popular with different types of prisms. Prisms are essentially what are going to give you a 3-dimensional or a 5-dimensional, or I mean, they go up to 12 facet prisms at this point, I believe, and even greater than that. So these are the different levels and what moving heads will do. But because of all of this stuff and all of these different features that are kind of jammed into a moving head spot, they've really become the most popular and the most effective if someone's just going to buy two. In the past, that's always been the go-to. And I we'll get to wash later, but I think people need to start to look at the wash, because the one thing about moving head spots that you might not understand if you've never used them, and if you have, I'm sure you get this, they don't really look the best that they can unless you're using fog. And I got to believe that, excuse me, I got to I'm going to knock everything over. Hold on one sec, guys and girls. Heater on over here, and it's probably annoying with the sound. So anyway, so if you're not using fog, and I don't know, chime in below. How many out of 10 gigs, how many gigs are you allowed to use fog, or will you use fog? You know, I would say most people are probably using fog. I'm going to take a guess. 25% of the time, when you really should be using it 100% of the time. And if you did, it would look so much better. But the fact is that we're not using fog most of the time. So when you're putting a spot out there, you don't get to see the beam. You're really just seeing the projection. So they look the best, honestly, when no one's on the dance floor, right? When people are walking into the room and you have that slow rotation gobo on the dance floor, they're fantastic for that. Or, you know, I've been in a lot of situations, or I've even seen a lot of companies that they'll just point them up at the ceiling, and they'll do the rotational gobo really slow and just have more of an elegant feel where they don't have it coordinated with the music. I don't know if I love that, but that's another way that I've seen people use it, because at the end of the day, if you have 200 people on a dance floor, you don't have fog, basically all you have is, you know, some colored light that people can see a little bit, and then eventually you see stuff hitting people's faces, right? So that's what the spot has basically become. And yeah, 50%. I mean, Maximus is saying 50%, venue limitations, you know, and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, Adam's saying 0. Brett running haze. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about like the type of, I say fog just in a general sense, but any type of enhancement, you know, haze, fog, whatever, you're not generally allowed to use it, or it's a pain. Let's be honest. That's the other side of it. It's another level. Customer may or may not want to pay for it, you know, and it's just one of those things where, unfortunately, when you're using a moving head spot, even the best, brightest ones out there, you're never going to get full capacity or full output or full look, especially in images and things like that, without a little bit of haze or a little bit of fog in the air. So, what's up, Claudio? Welcome. How are you? We're talking about moving head spots here. And of course, if anyone has any questions, make sure you drop them down below. I'm really glad to see everyone down here with us for your weekly dose of entertainment from me, because really, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just here to entertain you guys. I'm just a DJ MC like you. And that's what we do. Looking for a moving wash, but a small unit and a lot of watts. Yeah? What else? You wanted to make toast? No, I'm kidding. I get it, man. We're looking for a compact, and I think that's everybody right now. And I'm in the same boat. And I'll talk to you about a spot specifically that I just got word of, and we just kind of made the announcement on maybe last week, but our friends at JMAZ, I'm going to actually show you really quickly. Oops, no, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to show you a video really quick. of the ACO Spot 150. Here we go. And the best part about this light that we just found out about, I've been pushing for it. Number one, everything that you just saw, like I did a review on the ACO Spot 150 in black about a year ago, and this was the older version before they had wireless DMX built in, which is such a huge feature. I can't even explain it. I have the ACO Spot 200 only because, and I didn't need that size, but only because the 150 didn't have this. And then they just put it out in white, which for me is a game changer. I just put a link down below if you guys want to check it out. But at $879, I've never really seen a moving head available here with support behind it, and a team behind it. At this price point that does what this light does. So definitely check it out if you're looking for a spot. But really, I think that video kind of showed it all and really showed the capacity of what a spot can do. And I have a spot right here, so we can look at it a little bit closer. But it's really it's kind of like a jack of all trades, right? It has usually a smaller opening in the front. Sometimes you have a zoom, sometimes you don't. So this is usually what they look like, right? And then it's going to give you really a little bit of everything. And a lot of them do a lot of things great. Some of them do a few things well, and not a lot of things great. It really depends on the price point you're looking at. But if you are looking for kind of the most of everything, and you are looking at a higher end moving head, ADJ, the 5Z or the 4Z, also great options. Chauvet, 360X, the 375, another two that I would look at. But they're just very, very multi-purpose. So that's the spot. Does anyone have any questions on the spot? If you're using a spot, tell us what you're using. I would love to hear about it. Share it with everyone watching and in the comments. But definitely check out that JMaz ACO 150. I actually have two on the way for gigs I have next week, so I'm excited to test those out. We'll be doing a video on that. Next, we're going to talk about, and real quickly, the Who pretty much, I think, is anybody in a I think I'm talking mostly to DJs here, but you don't see moving heads in. You see them more in stage and DJ dance application. I don't see them as much in the band application and house of worship application. You see more wash and or beam in that application. So so that's the spot, and I think DJs, I mean, they're really kind of made for you guys and girls out there. So next, talk quickly about the moving head beam. So anyone out there using moving head beams? If you are, chime in. Love to hear from you. Let us know what you're, I don't know, what's happening. Who's Triple R Reina? What's going on, Triple R Reina? Are you a retailer? What's happening? Stealth spots. How you like the stealth spots? The stealth spots. I did a little, oh man, these names. I don't know what these names are. Oh boy. The stealth spots, though, I did a review on. They're definitely solid. I felt like the top was a little big for the bottom, right? Our friend Jordan did that for us. That was my kind of thoughts on those. But the output and what they did was very cool. It looked great. All right, so beams. I'll show you quickly another video. And this is a really kind of a cool video I found on beam, just to kind of give you an idea of what like the best way to use a beam would be like this. You ready? Here we go. Pretty impressive. So when I say to you, DJs, do you think two are going to do much for you? No. So DJs, are not typically the number one candidate unless you're on the understanding that like you got to start with like 6 pretty much at a minimum. And it's just a totally different type of an effect. You really need fog. And it's really more a synchronized, like if you're not programming, if you're not creating an environment that is similar to that music, or it's just more theatrical. I don't know how else to say it, but you can't just set them and forget them. And so that said, the beam to me is probably the least valuable light to the DJ that I work with and sell gear to the most at, and a lot of times are working in, the kind of doing weddings a lot of times at private events and working kind of the cookie cutter type of room, or looking for that type of a setup where kind of one size fits all as best they can, even though we all know that doesn't exist, right? So Anyway, anyone that's doing event production on a grander scale, larger events, whatever they're doing here at Totem Group, which was pretty insane. They're doing light production work, that's a totally different environment. When you go to concerts, 100,000 person capacity concerts at football fields and things like that, those are the types of lighting shows that you see. That's when you see beams more. You're not usually seeing moving head spots. You're seeing washes and beams in that situation. I love the beams on the stage, right? Because they're pointing up. You would never do that as a DJ. You'd never put the lights on the floor pointing up, right? At the Hilton. So, I think the best thing that you can learn from this, watching this, is if you're a DJ, in most cases, if you're looking to get a couple of moving heads and put them on totems, the beam is not the light for you, But if you are a band watching this, if you're someone who's any type of other event performer or professional in a stage environment, that's really where the beam works best. And I know in the quinceañera market, I've sold dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, literally at a time, to the quinceañera market. They're very popular in that market. So other than that, I got to tell you, I don't really sell them to a lot of DJs, and that's pretty much what it is with beams for me. I want to move on to wash because, and did I have a beam that I wanted to show you specifically? No, I'm not going to do that. Not really about the product that on this one. It's really more about the explanation and really what and how and who and why. So I'm not telling you not to get beamed, but again, just understand if your objective is to, I'm going out there, I want to get 2 moving heads. I want to get 4 moving heads. That's like the most I ever want to get. Probably want to go wash or spot or a combo of one or the other. So that's my advice. All right, next. We're going to move on to the last one, the moving head wash. So who was it? Who said that before? Jeff. Photographers tend to appreciate them. Okay. So think about when you first started doing uplighting, right? Yes. When you first start doing uplighting, right? And all of a sudden you could say before and after, and you could show, this, and then you could show that. Whoa, amazing. Now, what about the dance floor, right? There's no walls on the dance floor. So when you're taking photography and the photographer's taking imagery on the dance floor, if you're doing the wash right, the goal with the wash is not always to hit people on the face, but for me, I like to hit the walls. I like to hit the ceilings. I like to hit everything around, and then occasionally come through the dance floor. But mostly it's more about kind of creating an atmosphere around the dance floor and then giving them some swaying through it when you get to that point. But if you're using a wash, what you'll start to see is the background now looks like that, because literally a wash is pretty much just a par light on a moving head, and that's basically what it is in the larger design. They've changed, and there's all different variations of them. There's how many LED diodes there are. I mean, the one behind me has 710 watt. It has a motorized zoom in here, which means that it's going to make the wash beam bigger and smaller. And I'll just show you a video. ADJ just came out with a great one, and they had a really cool video that I saw I wanted to show you. And I thought this was a really good representation of the wash. So check out the ADJ Focus Flex L7 light show. Give them a little love. Very cool. And, I mean, the effect and the design of that show very similar to the beam, right? Except you have no gobos, you have no prism, and it's just wash. What's great about it, though, is you have a wider beam. The color is much more visible. It is much more vibrant in that aspect, where the beam to me is definitely sharper, more piercing. So that wash in that big room looks great. Now, again, I'm thinking I'm in a barn. I'm thinking I'm in, where I am here in New York on Long Island. There's a lot of old mansions, right? And that those types of ornate, old style, wooden, brick, rock, all that type of stuff, wash looks really great on that kind of stuff. So when you start to light it up, and as you saw with that Focus Flex L7, those colors are also mixing while the effect is going off, which is very, very cool. And that's not something that you're going to see as much with a beam because, again, you have much thinner beams, right? All pun intended. As far as the spot, same deal. With the spot, you essentially can make it a wash because you can do an open where you basically have no pattern and you just put it, open color. So the spot can also somewhat be a wash, and a lot of them, many of them will come with what's called a frost filter, where you can actually kind of get it to look somewhat like a wash. Now, what you can't do, which you also saw on the Focus Flex video, was the pixel mapping, and because you have multiple LED diodes here, I'm not going to take it down because I know that this will be the moment it all falls down on me and topples down. But when you have 7 10-watt LED diodes, as you saw, you can actually control those individually, and then you can start to create eye candy. And, as we just mentioned earlier, I mean, the whole style of lighting in my world, at least, this is what I'm doing. I don't know what else other people are doing, but I feel like it's working for me. Immersive lighting around, light the walls, light up things that you can within the wall, within the room, within the space that don't take away from the event, right? We also don't want to be um, disruptive where we're flashing people in the face with, you know, all this type of old style moonflower stuff, dots. And I'm not crazy about it anymore. And for me, I just like a nice, either a well synchronized moving head, however many you have, but that's just really what I like at this point. And then if you could find a smart way to use different types of atmospheric effects and animation laser, I think that's really all you need nowadays. You don't really need much more. It's just more about placement and doing it tastefully where and when, not to have everything all on at once, right? So, what's up, Will? Will had a bunch of beams are, in my honest opinion, the least versatile moving heads, especially in the more DJ Pro price range. They kind of always require hairs, and yeah, pretty much, yeah, absolutely. Will, great comment. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I'm totally with you on that. You have use the JMS Tron 7 for washing my dance floor. I love it. Artie. Yeah, and that's what we did a video on those last year, and that's kind of what we were going for. It's a great look and creates a wash plus the eye candy. But wash to me is really, I think, the future of lighting, and I mean, it's always been the basis of lighting. It's literally your primer. It's your first coat of paint if you're a painter. It's everything, and everything else kind of works within the wash color that you have behind you. Right now, I have this beautiful background that if I take this away, it looks completely different, right? With this, light above me on it, now it looks totally dead sexy. And now everything else is going to look better because of it. So, I showed you the Focus L7. Earlier gentleman asked about a portable, a portable wash. Um, the ACO series, the 150Z. I actually have a set going out today, and a bunch of people have already bought them. 150Z and the 100, but I like the 150Z better. It's at djsupply.store.com. I'll put a link to it in the comments. The 150Z is a really, really fantastic light. It has, hold on, I'll tell you what the specs are. Pull it up real quick. ACO Wash 150Z. 210 watt total, a 6 by 60 degree zoom at 879, and it's going to give you RGBW, and it's 730 watt. So it's basically what I have behind me, but instead of 10 watt, you're getting 30 watt LED diodes. And I can tell you, even with this is the battery powered version. This is the Aero series. I believe the 150 is about the same exact size as this, because I had, like I said, I had the Spot 150, and these are about the same size. The ATCO 200, the 260, and the Aero Beam 230 are bigger than this size. But that's definitely one I would look at. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Drop them down below, or reach out to us at thedjsguru.com or djsupply.store.com. You can also place an order using code SAVE there. But as far as Wash, ADJ also has some really great ones that I would definitely say are worth looking at. But I'll say but I've just had really good luck with this particular model, and the price point on it for the features and the quality that I've experienced with all these moving heads behind me. You guys and girls have seen me use them in stories and on video. It's the same lights that are behind me. They're the ones that I did the review on. 2+ years now with a lot of these lights, never one problem. And I've literally dropped a few of them, probably all of them, a few times, because they've been tricky to find cases for. But anyway, the JMaz lighting expert, I like it. What's up, buddy? Checking in. Will, so true about washes. However, what are your thoughts on just using them with a static wash system instead of using a static wash, removing spots, providing custom gobos, and who cares what I think? I like to say that. What do you think? It's really what matters. I don't say that facetiously. I say that with love and respect. It's what you think. I had to understand this myself. I don't care what anybody else thinks anymore, but my customer and whoever is at the event. And I know when it's good or not. I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities, and I think, Will, you should too. What you just said, I'd have to think about it more. It sounds like it's pretty cool, though, and I'm sure if you put thought into it, try it out, see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? I think that sounds like a great option, though. ADJ used to have something called the pocket wash. I don't know, they don't make them anymore, but we did training and they had them against the wall, and I said, that's dynamite. I think they were like $349 at the time. I said, man, I get 12 of them. You have like moving up lighting. That would be killer. So, hey, maybe that's what the 100Z would be for the JMaz, which is $549. So anyway, checking in. They're gonna think that like this is all like And Will, you can tell them the truth with this one, because Will and I hang out at the shows. We work together. We're JMaz dealers here, and I represent the brand in the sense that I really like the brand. Okay, Will can tell you they don't pay me a dime. I've been trying to get them to pay me. They won't pay me, and we're just dealers. We're just dealers. I make money selling it, but I only sell it because I believe in it, like everything else that we carry. And you got guys like Will there that really do care and good guys. They live here. They got families to support just like I do. So we want to support a company like JMaz. We want to support Chauvet and ADJ and these companies that have been with us myself and anyone else out there since the beginning that you see at the trade shows. Support these people that have given you their lives, so now a lot of this stuff that you see out there, it's copies or whatever. It's just like, there's a difference. It just is. But anyway, it's not about that. This is really more about the types. And does anyone have any questions? I think really the main objective for me was getting an idea of why you'd use one or the other. Beams for me, DJs, again, 6 or more. If you're not buying 6 or more, it's really not, I'll say it's not worth it unless you're using fog. If you're using fog, you can get away with a couple. But if not, you really want to do like more. And you saw that video. I mean, they usually have like 100 of them or more at these big shows. The wash, I think, is the sleeper. I think that's going to become more and more popular out there. You're going to see more and more DJs using them because of exactly what we just said. You can't use fog. So when you project these beams, when you project these spots, you're not seeing them, right? You're seeing what the reflection is. You're seeing the gobos. You're seeing, whatever is hitting people's faces or the walls, but you're not actually really seeing it through the air. That's just the way our anatomy works. But with the wash, you see it, and you see it more in reflection because that's the whole point. You're looking to wash out different parts. And if you point them and place them in the right areas, it really does enhance the room in a great way. So any other questions out there? I want to say thank you to everyone for watching. I think that I said it all. Definitely check us out at djsupplystore.com, at thedjsguru.com, and leave any comments below. Social media, you can DM us on Instagram, Facebook. I don't care. At this point, we got a great team here now. We've got people. We just want to help DJs and event performers out there find the right gear for them. And then, listen, we're going to have a relationship. We're going to have a relationship. You're my company, and we're going to have a relationship, and we're going to help you. And if there's problems, we're going to guide you through them. We're going to make them right. And hopefully everything goes great. Most of the time it does. And I'm going to look back in 10 years, and I'm going to say, holy cow, you got 9 DJs working for you now, because this has been happening since 1999 for me. You have 9 DJs working for you now. Congratulations. And now you're just buying full systems because you guys hired another DJ. And that's what we're looking for out there. So anyway, does JMaz make any hybrid fixtures? Believe they do. What's in stock right now or not, I don't know. But go to jmazlighting.com. You can definitely check out everything that they have there, or djsupplystore.com. Also has pretty much all of the JMaz moving heads on there. Just go filter by category. Artie, thank you so much. I'm a video DJ that likes to put on a show and JMaz Lights. I make that happen. I'm very happy I made that happen, Artie. I love you, man. Listen, thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to find a good song here on Artlist for everybody. Here we go. Oh, I like this one. We're going to end with this. I got to get back to work. Go to artlist.io where I get my music. Radio, royalty free. It works great. What's up, Devin? You're late, man. We're done. Not a long one tonight. I got to get back to work, everybody. We'll see you soon. Last fast, bring it right back, wear it like that, move it like that, like it like, do it like that.